desert road from Vegas.
Oh, shivers in my back. Yes, so Hairless here. Today we are back with Lara Fabian, and this is a song called Calling You. This performance is with the pianist or composer Pierre Grimard and a string quartet, and it's from a 2003 concert called En toute intimité. Excuse my French pronunciation, I really struggle with it, which means in complete privacy. The song is a cover song. The original was sung by Jevetta Steele in the 1987 film called Bagdad Cafe. The song was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Original Song. I've not seen that film and I didn't know this song, so I've just gone and listened to it a couple of times. It's interesting for many, many reasons. I find it weirdly entrancing. All I'll say is I can certainly imagine Lara singing this. I'm sure she'll do it amazingly. So without further ado, let's get straight into it.
Desert road from Vegas to nowhere, someplace better than where you've been. A coffee machine that needs some fixing, in a little cafe just around the bend.
Oh, shivers in my back. Well, yeah, immediately goosebumps. They either come in my arms or my back, or towards my derrière. This time it was in my back. We're going to do our first pause here. I think the performance is about 4 minutes. We're about 1 minute and 20 seconds in. If you don't like the pauses, they really do help with copyright, stops the video from potentially being taken down. And this is where I now go over my analysis of what we've just heard. If you don't want to hear that, go to the timestamp. Right from the off, we get this breath, this shaky breath, which is very emotional. We've heard and seen her do this before. And then she gives these vocalizations before any lyrics are sung. With the original song,
A desert road from Vegas.
Straight in with the lyrics. In terms of the key, Lara is singing slightly higher.
A desert road. A desert road.
But as I'm sure you can tell, the harmony is very peculiar. It's very strange, and this is what makes the song so entrancing. I think so, anyway. I won't go into too much detail. We could go on forever, but I will go into it a little bit. So let's take a look at what we're hearing. And because of how kind of peculiar the music is, this could be open to interpretation a bit, but I'll go with the obvious harmony. So these kind of first four chords, these are C, F, A minor, D minor. Or if we play these chords not all voiced closely together. Of course, with every kind of chord change, we get this same repeated 3-note motif. So if we put those 3 notes on top of the chords we're hearing, then this is what they sound like. That's the C chord, that's the F chord, that's the A minor chord, and that's the D minor chord. See how scrunchy every single one of them is. Then when she starts singing the bass line of the piano, the left hand, it keeps moving up, it keeps rising, but the three top notes, they remain.
A desert road from Vegas to nowhere.
Those three notes, they refuse to move regardless of the harmony elsewhere. So that's why the harmony is a bit peculiar. And because of this, Lara has to have an understanding of the innate harmony when it comes to her vocalizations, because of how scrunchy those chords are and the weird notes. For this vocalization, right at the start, we might think that because the harmony is weird, it's actually easier for her. She can kind of pick any note and it will sound fine. That's not the case at all. It's actually the opposite. Onto the lyrics. The first couple of lines she sings, so much variety within them.
Desert road from Vegas to nowhere. Someplace better than where you've been.
We've got chest voice, we've got blended voice, we've got a heady, airy voice a bit higher up. We've got a deeper, airy voice lower down. Volume differences as well, dynamic contrast. And that deeper voice, she really kind of plays into it.
I'm fixing in a little cafe just around the bend.
That's not something I've really heard from her too much, but of course, the moment I just played, it comes just before and therefore exaggerates the next bit, which is... Again, very harmonically peculiar. It is the same as the original song. She's not changed much with the arrangement compared to the original. But that moment, the start of this, that's what really kind of shocked me in the original song. See how Jevetta Steele started that note flat and then slides into it. A very powerful chesty sound. Lara kind of does this, but in her own way. It's more of an exaggerated and, in my opinion, pleasant sounding slide. It's less of a chesty sound, it's a nice blended voice, a bit lighter in the sound, and she does these three little flicks. She has so much control over her voice, I think that's no secret. You can hear, especially for the second half of that phrase, that she's teetering on singing slightly flat, a bit under the note. But by such a little amount, it basically sounds like the true pitch. And her vibrato there, the wobbles towards the end of the phrase, that helps to bring the pitch up to the true pitch to end the phrase all nice and melodically. And then here on the words calling you, we get this Lara-ism. You'll all know what I mean by that, this kind of anguished sound that she does. She's the best at this from the people I've heard. Then I like this, so after she goes, can you hear me? She then repeats this phrase, and on the repeat the second time round, she does a much more of a gritty slide, again, so accurate in terms of pitch and being purposefully discordant.
Can you hear me?
It's to cause a bit more tension, to grip us all the more, even maybe to make us wince a bit. And then, of course, her vocal line is a bit more elaborate. She does a bit more elaborate embellishments. We also have the strings now. The violins are playing a bit more of a prominent part. Violins, one of the main, most important instruments of the Baroque period. The Baroque in general, in everything, music and architecture and art, it was all about being fancy, about being ornate, rapid violin runs and a lot of the music. Here, the violins are the opposite. They're static, playing sustained notes, not moving. So it's Lara who takes on the more ornate role with these runs and embellishments that she does. All right, let's continue. This is a cool one, isn't it? Such a peculiar song musically. Really, really, really interesting.
dry wind blows right through me. A baby's crying and I can't sleep. We both know a change has come and come and come and come and come and closer. Sweet release.
Oh, well, she's gone facing the back. I'll come to that in a bit. Interesting attire she's wearing as well. It's like bed attire, a nightie and a dressing gown or something. Did she wear that for the whole concert? This is the first performance from this concert I'm seeing. We're going to do our second pause now. There's again some more interesting things I'd like to cover before we carry on until the end. So we had this nice little instrumental interlude from where we carried on with Lara humming little bits here and there. We don't get this at all in the original song, so she has added in this section, kind of like the introduction. Here's the original. Straight into the next verse. So this is a nice opportunity, a nice platform to make use of the string quartet that they have. We get the violin with this kind of soaring line, really, really bringing out the harmonic weirdness. I always wonder about how sensitive the microphones are with that ch sound here. And again here, for example, we hear her breath so intensely. And there was a bit where the sound is much more quiet as well. She doesn't seem that much further away from the mic here. She might be singing a bit quieter too, who knows? But if holding a microphone, 1 or 2 inches further away creates that much difference of a sound, especially in terms of sensitivity and volume, that's a skill in and of itself, being able to hold a microphone at perfect distance away from your mouth. Yeah, I've always wondered that. Anyway, so we get a more powerful sound now. We hear more of her chest voice starting to come through. If we compare it to the very first time we heard her sing this phrase. And again just now. Such control over her voice. And then she does this run. And what a run. She just kept going. She just kept going. Let's go back to the start of the phrase. I think she started a bit before that. A really long phrase and immensely difficult. And again, so much variety in every possible sense when it comes to the singing. It's not just a flat, constant sound where it's easier to sing long phrases. Really, really immense breath control. Sorry, I'm going back and forth, but to go back to before that, when she's singing more powerfully, she's using her vibrato much more freely. Such an elegant sound, I think. It's not too intense or too operatic. It's kind of like a subtle flutter. What isn't so subtle, and again, she does this on purpose, I'm sure, the end of that really long phrase. I like how we can see visibly, audibly, that she is running out of breath. She's not disguising it. Her voice is shaky. She's hunched over here, you know, looking weak and depleted. And then she just takes a huge breath and makes sure that we all hear it. This is not usually what singers would do, I feel. It's all part of the drama. It's such good stage presence. And of course, seeing this live in person would be 10 times better than watching a recording. We then get some more drama, some dramaticness. She turns around and runs to the back. We have seen her do this before, such as in Broken Vow and Mademoiselle Hyde. Please do check out my other reactions to Lara in my dedicated Lara Fabian playlist, card up here. We are now fixated on her, even though she's looking away, not facing us. We're wondering what she'll do. So, she knows this. She keeps moving. She stays fluid. The music as well, it's now changed. It kind of sounds a bit folky. The harmony makes much more sense, and I'm sure that hearing the violin or the fiddle really contributes to this folk type sound. There's a drone as well in the cello, playing this note repeated. It doesn't move at all. How different to that incessant 3-note motif we heard for so much of the song previously. Then she does turn around, runs back towards us and starts singing, and that's where we got to. So let's carry on until the end. Microphone's so far away here. Well, just like that. I mean, I'm so intrigued by this song. Her performance is great, obviously. I've just got a few more points to say from that final section. But the song and the music, really interesting. Really, really interesting. So when she turns around, comes back towards us, she comes straight in on that note we've heard before. But again, it's just so different to the previous 2 times. I really want to highlight this by playing once more the previous times we've heard it. First time. Second time. And now this time. At face value, maybe they don't sound that different, but to me they do, just subtly. It would be really fascinating, I think, to see how many different types of sounds Lara can get just by singing that one note and vowel. It would be infinite. Obviously not infinite. You get my point though. She again does a very nice vocal run, slightly different to before, but the main standout feature with this one is the sudden dynamic shift. Which is a little bit of a surprise, and we also get this chromatic inflection. Instead of what we might have been expecting, we get the note, it's been flattened. And then to wrap up, we got this bit, which I think is kind of a bit more in the style of maybe modern R&B singers. Quite soulful, it's that kind of run, not really one that I've heard from Lara before. Yeah, overall this performance, like I said, the music very interesting and a different side to Lara that I've not seen before. But also so much of what I have seen and what makes her performances hers. So amazing, so unique, not really replicable by anyone. Very pleasant experience overall. Introduced to a very interesting, peculiar, strange new song. I do like it. I do like it a lot. And another flawless Lara Fabian performance. Comment down below other songs or performances by Lara you'd like me to do videos on, and thank you as always for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, would like to support me and get access to exclusive perks, you can do so by joining the Patreon linked on the screen now, and I will see you next time.